but we're seeing it happen before our very eyes. Today on Prophetic Perspective, we have a very special guest who has just returned from a meeting of the World Health Organization in Geneva, Switzerland. Congresswoman Michele Bachmann, who served for a number of years in the U.S. House of Representatives and ran for President of the United States, continues to serve as Dean of Regents College and as a voice for conservative and Christian principles here in America and around the world. Congresswoman Bachmann, tell us a little bit about what you experienced when you went to Geneva, Switzerland, and were a part of at least the audience listening to all the things going on at the World Health Organization.
I was there watching, observing, seeing. They weren't shy. They weren't reticent to tell us what was going on. What was very sad is there wasn't one member of the U.S. House of Representatives that was there for this meeting. There wasn't one member of the United States Senate that was there. They managed to find airplanes and attend World Economic Forum meetings, but they didn't attend this meeting. And this has such profound consequences for every person on earth, because the plan envisioned is that every person on earth would come under the dominion and control of the World Health Organization. It was just Monday of this week, 1 week after the World Health Assembly concluded, that there was an absolute bombshell press letter that went out that said the European Union has already developed a global digital passport that would regulate the ability of people to take transportation, and it would also regulate our health issues. That global digital passport, which essentially would be a QR code on your mobile phone, an individual would have to be in compliance with the mandates of the World Health Organization in order to be able to travel, in order to be able to move about. So this was announced on Monday. They didn't wait to pass amendments or pass a global treaty. They announced that the World Health Organization is adopting what Europe came up with that already covers 80 countries out of the 194. The question is, when will the United States go into this system? Because this is how you enforce global government, through this global digital passport. It is a reality. And Monday it was announced that the WHO will take over the European digital passport. And they also stated this will be the first building block, presumably merging digital currency, digital health records. Our entire life will eventually be merged onto this digital QR code. And they said the effective date is June of 2023. In other words, right now, this global digital passport is effective now.
Yeah. As we sit and record this program today for our Prophetic Perspective, it's June 7th, Wednesday, but obviously just this week on June 5th, you were talking about the release of this information. You just came from Geneva, Switzerland. We recognize the threats that are multiplying. The sad reality is our own media in this country has ignored this huge story that has grave implications for Americans and people around the world. And you think, what are they fixated on and focusing on? I think they actually are trying to distract us from things of great importance with things that are more trivial, because again, this global passport is going to have tremendous ramifications. I actually experienced a little bit of that when I would try to fly to Canada during COVID, and boy, I tell you what, the regulations and the headache factor, even just going to Canada, was off the charts, and that's going to be multiplied many times.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And I think our lives, it won't be a year from now. Our lives will be completely upended, absent a miracle or an intervening hand from the Lord. We're looking at less than a year at this point of having this full digital passport enforced and actually out in play for everyone in the world. So it's envisioned, it's created, it's a matter of getting everyone on board. And when you look at the 307 proposed amendments to the international health rules and the global pandemic treaty, both of them mandate compliance by member states. They talk about how they mandate compliance, but they also talk about how they have committees to stop anybody from talking about this. And it's really shocking when you think the mainstream media hasn't talked about this, that cable media hasn't, The social media hasn't been talking about this. And yet, through alternative media sources like yourselves, really more than half of the people don't trust the system. They know something about this just through alternative media. That's why the global amendments and the pandemic treaty envision shutting down even alternative media. Everyone has to be in compliance with the message given out by global government. And that will be within the year that they'll start on these restrictions on speech. And so that's why use our speech as long as we can.